One thing fun about travel is you meet people. You meet people you wouldn't normally meet. We live in pretty homogeneous worlds. Nothing wrong with it, but I mean, if you look around, we're all very, very much the same. And that's my world at home. When I'm in Europe for a couple of weeks, I meet more interesting people than I meet for the rest of the year at home. Different kind of people. Doesn't need to be earth-shaking experiences, but just different, stimulating encounters. If I'm making a TV show or guiding a tour or making a guidebook or on vacation, and I'm not connecting people to people, it's a flat experience, especially when I'm making my TV shows. If my TV shows are good, they're good to a great degree because I've got friends everywhere in Europe and they'll help me out, and I've got real people, real voices. Not a lady in a dirndl sent there by the tourist board at the airport. Real people, okay? Now when you're traveling, if you're accessible, you'll meet these people. Again, they don't need to be earth-shaking experiences, sometimes just goofy stuff. This little kid was staring at me in Italy recently. Finally, his dad said, "Excuse my son, he stares at Americans." And I said, "Well, what's with that?" He said, "Well, last week we were at McDonald's having our hamburger, and my son, noticing the fluffy white bun, said, 'Dad, why do Americans have such soft bread?' And the dad told his son, 'Because, son, Americans have no teeth.'" Now, I think the dad was just doing what dads do, just entertaining himself as he was out with his son. He didn't have any great meaning for that, but the little boy was confused, and I showed him my teeth and did what I could to straighten out that little bit of international misunderstanding. When you travel, there's goofy misunderstandings all over the place. I remember visiting my friends in Bulgaria during the Cold War, and they sat me down one night and they said, "Now, in America, if everything is private property, how can you go anywhere without trespassing?" They're very perplexed by this, you see. And it's just they're victims of their own propaganda, just like we are victims of our own propaganda. And when you travel, you're less easy to victimize. One of my favorite places to travel is Ireland. Because in Ireland, I get the sensation that I'm understanding a foreign language. It would be really nice. And in Ireland, I almost feel that way because people have this wonderful brogue. And I wonder, why is their language so enchanting to me? And I think it's because they speak Gaelic first, and they think and communicate in a Gaelic template, which I would imagine is a more colorful and romantic way to communicate than no-nonsense English. And if you want to hear that Gaelic charm, you go to what are called Gaeltachts. A Gaeltacht in Ireland is a national park for the survival of the traditional culture. In Ireland, even in tough times, the government thinks it's worth a little money to keep the traditional ways alive. Small farms, yeah, let's keep them alive. Speaking the local language, yeah, let's do that, even if it's a little more expensive. And there are places colored green on the map on the far west of Ireland where people speak Gaelic first and English second. You wouldn't know it as a casual tourist because you walk up to these guys or people in a shop or whatever, they'll be chatting to each other in Gaelic, they turn to you without missing a beat and speak English, you're gone, they slip back into their Gaelic. But they think in terms of Gaelic. So you talk to them and it's this enchanting sort of conversation. And they love to talk. I was talking to these two guys for a while, and after a while I asked the guy on the left, "Were you born here?" And he said, "No, it was about 5 miles down the road." Later on I asked him, "Have you lived here all your life?" He said, "Not yet." I'm just a sucker for that kind of stuff, and after a while, you forget your itinerary. I mean, I've been in Ireland, hitching in the middle of nowhere, whichever direction the cars are coming. I just want to get in the car and talk to somebody. It's so fun to talk with the Irish people, and you get that joy when you travel.